Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points, which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton, you may as well make it dance. George Bernard Shaw. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. Society is produced by our wants and government by our wickedness. If you want to make a small fortune, start with a large fortune and go into aviation. A lawyer will do anything to win a case. Sometimes he will even tell the truth.
Diversification is having a tough decade. This chart shows a remarkable reality. A handful of AI-linked companies now account for roughly 40% of the world's total market capitalization in several major equity markets. Their share of revenues and capital expenditure is climbing just as fast. In the United States, the stock market increasingly behaves like a referendum on a few AI titans. In Taiwan, semiconductor companies dominate. In South Korea, a small number of technology leaders account for an outsized share of corporate investment. The bull case is simple. These firms are building the infrastructure of the new AI age. The risk is equally simple. When a few companies become the market, stock picking starts just looking suspiciously like company picking. At $1.75 trillion, SpaceX is now worth roughly the same as GE Aerospace, RTX, Boeing, Airbus, Lockheed Martin, Grumman, Honeywell, Rolls-Royce, and Safran combined. Investors aren't valuing a rocket company, they're valuing rockets, Starlink, defense infra, and AI-era connectivity rolled into one. When a single private company trades at the value of an entire industry, it's either a glimpse of the future or a reminder that expectations have achieved escape velocity. Every mega IPO arrives with the same promise. This one is different. SpaceX's proposed $75 billion raise at a $1.75 trillion valuation would be nearly 3x larger than the next biggest IPO on record. But history offers a useful reality check. Saudi Aramco and Alibaba generated fairly modest returns after their blockbuster listings. In India, the track record is even harsher. LIC, Paytm, Hyundai Motor in India, Tata Capital and HDB Financial Services are all trading below their listing levels. The lesson isn't that SpaceX is overvalued, is that IPO size and investor returns are often inversely related. Winning trophies is impressive. Supplying national teams is a different flex. Manchester City leads all clubs with 20 players at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, ahead of Bayern Munich at 18, Arsenal at 16, PSG at 16, and Barcelona at 15. Think about that for a second. That's nearly an entire squad spread across multiple countries, all developed, recruited, or polished under one club system. It's also a reminder that modern football isn't just about winning matches. The biggest clubs have become global talent ecosystems, producing players valuable enough to start on the sport's biggest stage. The world isn't disarming, it's quietly rearming. As of January 2026, the 9 nuclear armed states collectively hold about 9,745 military nuclear warheads, up from 9,614 a year earlier. The two superpowers still dominate. Russia has 4,400 warheads and the United States 3,700, together controlling more than 80% of the world's arsenal. But the fastest growth story is China, whose stockpile has expanded from 600 to 620 warheads in a year and has increased more than tenfold over the past 2 decades. India stands at roughly 190 warheads, ahead of Pakistan's 170, while North Korea is estimated at 60. India has opened 540 million bank accounts and built one of the world's most impressive digital payment system. But the money still travels to the same places. Just 11 districts out of 762 account for more than 50% of all bank credit in India. The top 3, Bombay Suburban, and New Delhi, alone command 30%. Here's the striking part. The bottom half of India's districts receive less than 5% of the total credit. So while financial inclusion has spread access, credit inclusion remains heavily concentrated. In other words, India has democratized bank accounts, it hasn't yet democratized bank lending.